Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. It is Friday already, if you can believe it. I can't believe it's Friday. Where did this week go? You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. And, of course, next month will begin the 49th anniversary year of The Steve Kane Show. Okay, we've got a lot to cover. A lot to get into. I'm going to cover a lot today. Today is also Friday, which means it's Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, it's open phones. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. The other 4 days of the week, you got to talk about what we bring up. But on Friday, the show prep is up to you guys. However, I do have some things I want to open up with and discuss. But when you call in, you don't even have to comment on the things I bring up today. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. Have you seen this immigration raid on this pot farm out in California? Holy smokes, the National Guard were there. The agents were attacked. It looked like not only was it a pot farm, it was just filled, it was a legal pot farm. It's unlike the old days of marijuana field raids, but illegal immigrants, illegals. And they moved in hard, and they picked up a whole bunch of people. I was watching the local news out of California early this morning, and they were interviewing a mother who, I don't know if she's in the country illegally, but she told the local news that she's getting text messages from her son who was there on the marijuana farm, and he's in hiding with a group of others, so they got some illegals. And if you've seen it, it's pretty wild, isn't it? It is wild. It's a crazy thing. There's a number of things going on in this country right now, and it's not only that. Now, the invasion USA has stopped. President Trump, our great president, our favorite president, the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, has shut down the illegals from coming across the southern border. However, there literally are tens of millions of them inside the United States that have made their way through, and the auto-pen administration of Joe Biden, over 20 million came through with that, it's believed. So, there's a lot of them here. And you see what's going on, and here is what has happened. There's different phases to things. Our country is no longer being invaded. However, the beginning early stages of colonization have begun. And I mean colonization. You look at what's going on in this country. This Mahmoud lunatic from New York. I'm going to play this propaganda audio of him shortly. He's suing the United States for $20 million. Here you got a guy who's working for Iran, a Syrian from working for Iran, who's not just organizing a hate group against Jews, but he's advocating for terrorists in this country, working for an enemy of this country, Iran. And he's free and he's suing us? When I was watching the local news coverage of this marijuana farm raid out in California, which was just completely insane. If you've not seen it, you will. It's all over the news. The entitlement out there, just the entitlement. They feel that they belong here and that we owe them, that they are entitled to be here. And it's not just that, it's everywhere. The country has been overrun. It's been overrun by enemies of this country, foreign nationals, and they've colonized many parts of this country to the point where members of Congress and governors of states and the Democrat Party these days, it seems their whole constituency are the illegal invading colonizers. And it's an interesting thing because liberals, especially the radical liberals, they're so anti-colonizing, but they're doing it now. And I got news for you. These Hispanics are of European descent too. Spaniards and Portuguese. They're not Mayans. They're not Aztecs. Oh my goodness. So that's what's going on here. And this is what's got to be focused on and discussed. And President Trump is repelling this invasion. in deporting these colonizers, and they're doing it by the thousands and every day. And it's got to happen. We're on the verge of losing this country. So let me share this. This is Mahmoud. This is the Syrian who works for Iran, who was one of the organizers at Columbia. He's the one they put in jail. They want to revoke his immigration status. Remember, he was in jail in Louisiana. He got out. AOC traveled with him through the airport, at least, as trying to make his thing her thing. He's from Syria. He is married to some collaborating wife. And he's working for Iran. And he's a hate group organizer. He's organizing for terrorists on behalf of Iran against the Jews in Israel. And he's suing us. Listen, this is this fake video that he's dropped. Listen.
Today, we filed for $20 million in damages against the Trump administration because of the unconstitutional and unlawful arrest and all these conditions that I was put under. It's clear to me it's either the 20 million or an official apology from the administration, because ultimately my goal is not self-enrichment. I don't want this money just because I need money. What I want is actually accountability, real accountability.
So if President Trump apologized, would you accept that?
If it's a formal apology, that of course would reverse his fascist agenda, then definitely I would accept that.
Oh yeah, I mean, kidding. He sounds like he's from Transylvania. What kind of, that Syrian accent, I guess. Is that a Brooklyn accent? Is that how they talk at Columbia? No apology. No apology. He's not going to get an apology from the United States or from President Trump. He should be apologizing to us and the Jewish students at Columbia that are living in fear because of him. Don't you understand what I'm talking about here? This country is on the brink. We're about to lose our country. If it were not for the re-election of Donald Trump, it would be over. And Donald Trump's got a lot of work to do, and he's doing it to save this country. First and foremost, repelling these illegal invaders and colonizers. Now, our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones. If you're on hold, stand by. You can call in about anything and everything on your mind on Friday's show. You don't have to comment on anything I bring up, but I've got a lot to cover, and I'm going to sprinkle it in throughout the show today because there are some major issues going on. And I want to remind you guys, my appearance is not this Saturday. It's not tomorrow. It's a week from tomorrow. Next Saturday, July 19th, come meet me at Attorney Barry Siegel's office. We're going to be there Saturday at 10 a.m. on the 19th, a week from tomorrow, for Attorney Barry Siegel's Medicaid seminar. I will be there early, and if the weather's good, I'm going to bring the MAGA scooter. I'll take the MAGA scooter over there, and you're all invited. Now, it is limited space because it is in Attorney Barry Siegel's main office of the Siegel Law Group, so they ask that you call and let them know you're coming, so they know how much space in the office they need to set up, how many chairs they need. And when you call, they'll give you detailed directions. Here's the number. Give them a call. 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And if you go to the website, you can find their phone number there as well, SiegelLawGroup.com. Now, I'm going to do something that I rarely do, that I'm supposed to do 4 times an hour every day of this show, and that's take a break on time. So I'm going to take this break on time. I'll come back with your calls and more of the very important news stories that I'm going to be covering today on the program. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. We'll be right back. All right. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, if you're new, this is a radio station break. If you're new, subscribe. And if you're not new, please like the video and share the video on your socials. That would be pretty awesome. Callers on hold, you hang in there. I'm going to go to the phones after the break. All right? All right. Phones are pretty busy. Man, oh man. Let's see. We'll be back in less than a minute, guys. Thank you, Dan Duncan. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Call us on hold standby. It is open MAGA Mike Friday, open phones. The show prep is up to you guys on Friday's program. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. However, no profanity, guys. No profanity. I mean, it's amazing we even have to put that disclaimer out there. All right, the phones are ringing off the hook, so I'm just going to go to the phones, but I am going to bring up things I want to bring up during the show today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. How you doing?
All right.
This is Angeles Antonio. Hey, look, I wanted to know, have you been watching the news and looking at in Mexico? I don't mean to change the subject on things, but looking at in Mexico and how they're riding and everything, wanting all the illegal aliens up out of their country.
Well, now what's happened is a lot of Americans retire. Well, not a lot, but some Americans retire to Mexico because it's cheap, and the Mexicans have been harassing the Americans that are retired in Mexico and want them to leave their country.
Yeah, because I'm talking about they're doing the same thing, but even worse. They're breaking into stores, tearing up all the people's property. They want them out. They're saying, leave our country, get out of our country. We don't want you gringos here. Leave our country. Yeah,
that doesn't seem very smart. You know, Mexico could not survive without U.S. tourism and the United States. They're you know, it's a third. Think about it. This is a question I've asked many times and never got an answer. South America, Latin America, although Mexico's part of North America, right? North America is 3 countries: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Why is Canada and the United States first world countries, and the only other North American country is a third world pit of hell?
Yeah, you're right.
Why is
you're
that?
Right.
What is it about Mexico? Yeah, why is that?
Hey, it was nice talking to you, Brian. I'm on the road right now and dropping off this load. It was nice talking to you.
All right, take care. Right, a truck driver. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Joe from Delray.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, I was listening to your show from a couple of days ago. It's Open MAGA Mike Friday, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Here we go. I can't wait for this.
You probably remember me. I
have no recollection of ever talking to you. I have no recollection of talking to you.
Well, I was the one, it was my girlfriend who won the gift certificates back at the train depot in about 2012.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was like 10, 15 years ago. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I know. Greg too was hiding out there somewhere.
Yeah, he was stalking us. Yeah, Liberal Al was there.
Yeah, Liberal Al got into a fight with Ron.
Yeah,
and I know Ron stopped calling, but
Oh, I recognize
Like
your
3
voice.
years
I
after
recognize your voice. You're very tall and you come to a lot of our appearances. I recognize your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at Wings Plus on the Recognition Day.
Yeah. I know
Inauguration
I know exactly who you are. I recognize your voice.
I was
We've met many
hoping
times.
I was hoping you'd invite me to meet Conservative Doug, but you've gotten to be such a big shot that you acted like you was too important to talk to me. But
What are you talking
that's
about?
okay.
What are you talking about? Who's acting like a big shot?
Whatever. You wouldn't talk to me. I went and talked to Steve, and Steve just kept.
What are you talking about on
asking where
inauguration? You talking about inauguration day?
I went and talked to Steve instead of you. Steve just wanted to know where my girlfriend is. He says I have a very attractive girlfriend.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
He's been saying the same thing for the last 10 or 12 years.
Oh, now I understand why.
Anyway.
Now I understand why I probably didn't talk to you.
Because I have an attractive girlfriend? What's the problem?
No, because you're a jerk. Listen to you. You're not a nice person.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you're calling me. You're being nasty towards me. You're being nasty towards Steve. You and I have met many times. You've come to a lot of our personal appearances. I remember you well. I don't remember a girlfriend. I remember you. I've met you at Wings Plus several times, and I've been nothing but nice to you. And you got all this attitude towards me and Steve. I don't. It's just you're not.
Okay, well,
I don't know
you're a
why.
nice guy.
I don't know
Steve's a
why
nice
you would
guy.
be such a jerk.
Okay, you're a nice guy. Steve's a nice guy. Anyway,
Well, you must. If you
don't.
don't like us, why do you come to all these appearances we're at?
I like Steve. Sometimes I like you.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know.
I called because I heard you talking a couple days ago about that guy from the old radio station.
Yeah, Jim
who
Nadal.
called you up looking for a job.
No, he wasn't
And
looking for a
I just wanted to
job.
point it out.
But anyway.
I just wanted to point out that I never heard of him before, but I looked him up.
No, we're not going to
And
get into, this is what I got to deal with. Oh my goodness. It's open phones, but it's not open to terminally bore the audience. All right, maybe we've got somebody interesting on the line. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. See why we don't do open phones every day? Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name?
Hello?
Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Jeff from Jacksonville. How you doing?
All right, Jeff in Jacksonville. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is how come you're not talking about Pam Bondi in the list?
Well, it's today.
Great
Well,
title.
hold on a second. I've talked about that all week. What, am I supposed to talk about it every day? Is the new format of the show every day Pam Bondi in the list? Well, I mean, I don't understand. I've been talking about it for like 4 days.
Well, it's open Mike Friday. It's MAGA Mike Friday, so I'm talking about it now.
So we are.
I mean,
So
it's like,
so now
you know,
we are
it's-
talking about it. Yeah.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that?
I've shared my thoughts all week. I'm not going to repeat what I said the
okay.
last 4 days. I mean, it's open mic. You got to have something to say into the mic.
I did. I asked you a question what you thought about Pam Bondi.
I've been talking about it all week. I've talked about it all week, including on my podcast yesterday afternoon. And it's in the ball's in your court.
The ball's in my court. Okay. All right. Well, you obviously you condone that.
No.
You condone that behavior.
What behavior do you think I condone? This comes from a guy that lives in the city with the highest crime rate in Florida, Jacksonville, where I was almost murdered.
That doesn't.
You know.
Hold on.
Hold on a second here. What are you saying? What are you?
That does not reflect who I am.
Excuse
where
me.
I live. See, you are, sir. You are a racist.
A
And that's why you
racist?
got
What
categorized
did I
people.
say that
Yeah,
involves
you are.
skin color?
Oh, here comes the guy from the highest crime rate city. in
Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah. I'll never go back.
So, all right.
I was
So
on.
That describes who I am. That describes who I am as a person. that describes
Well,
my
I find
morals?
no, if you would stop sounding like a hysterical woman, I would explain.
Oh, okay. Well, you insulted me.
You insulted me. You insulted me. What am I supposed to just take your insults and not come back? I have been talking now. You accuse me of condoning of some of the worst behavior short of murder that can be done, and you're upset with me because I say you live in a high crime city? You're messed up, man. Let me tell you. This is when you said and then you call me a racist. What's that?
You are a racist.
Give me an example of my give me an example of my racism.
All the roundup of these people that are taking over our country. You are just all you're doing is justifying his hate. That's all you're doing.
Well, first of all, when you're talking about humans, we are all the same race. Only a racist would think that there's different species. There's one race, the human race, and inside that there's different ethnicities and nationalities.
Okay, so you're going to flip that?
Well, no, you're calling me a racist. You're calling me a racist, and you're saying people that aren't white are another. You said that people that are not white are another species. Think about that.
Because you're talking about people being ripped out of families' arms and deported from this country that come here to change their
listen,
living.
Sammy Davis.
Wait a minute, hold on one second.
No. You hold on for a second. Sammy Davis once said in a great song, "Don't do the crime if you can't do the time." Just because you have a family doesn't mean you can do crime.
These people are working. They're paying taxes. They're working on a farm.
How are they paying?
Okay, so
how are they paying taxes? How are illegals paying taxes?
They are paying taxes.
How?
You mean to tell me? All right, then if that's not true, then tell me this: why are these farmers, okay, the owners of these farms, why are they not being put in jail for hiring these illegals?
Well, some of them will be.
Oh, will be. Okay, we're gonna wait. I'll wait for that to happen. Because not one farmer has been charged with hiring illegals and paying these people.
Listen, you said they pay taxes. How do you pay taxes if you don't have a Social Security number? If you're in the country illegally, how are you paying taxes? Committing an identity theft?
Because maybe they're not here illegally.
No, they're here illegally. The ones they're deporting, the ones they're deporting are.
So the ones that were deported. So what are you telling me? Every one of those people that have been arrested on these farms and everywhere else have been vetted and had been through due process.
They detained. Well, as an example, excuse me, can you not be so rude? See what it's like in Jacksonville? Everybody in Jacksonville is just out of control. It's why it's so dangerous. Listen to this guy.
No, because,
okay, what happens is all right. Slow down. Okay, I'm being very polite with you, but you gotta stop interrupting so much.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, what they do is they detain people, find out their identity, and determine whether or not they're in the country legally or not, or citizens or not. If they're here illegally, they arrest them. If not, they let them go.
You really think that's happening?
Yes.
Do you really think that's
Yes.
Okay, so Alligator Alcatraz, you tell me what that's about.
It's a detention center. It's a detention center. That's a temporary holding center to deport illegals, many of them violent, to their nation of origin or those great prisons in El Salvador. And here in South Florida, they've arrested a whole bunch of sex offenders and rapists and killers that they've sent there already. Kind of like the people that live in Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah, because you don't have any crime where you live. It's perfect down there. It's rainbows and unicorns.
Oh, yeah, in my neighborhood, absolutely. I went to Jacksonville last year, and I was almost killed by a guy on the street.
I know, and you almost got robbed.
No, I almost was murdered just walking around.
No, my God. I know.
It's true. It is. It could be a great city, but it's a dangerous place. No one should ever go to Jacksonville, Florida. No one should ever go to Jacksonville, Florida. If you,
Why?
because
Why?
it's
the
dangerous.
population isn't
I
all
was
white?
there for 2 days.
No, why?
I was
Because
there
the
for
population isn't all white.
I was there for
That's
2
why.
days, and I was almost murdered. Okay, I was just there for 2
No,
days.
it was nice. Stop it. Stop it. You're walking around on YouTube all day long on your podcast and whatever, and not once did you broadcast that when you were almost murdered in
Yeah,
Jacksonville?
well, listen. When I did make it, I was making
No,
it.
you didn't.
Excuse
I didn't
me.
think so.
I
didn't
did.
think so.
Excuse
Stop
me.
it.
I
You got
did.
more stories.
I did. I have on my other YouTube channel. I made a YouTube video. The guy was following me back to my hotel. What was he gonna do?
Oh my God, he was following you.
Yes.
He just happened to be going the same way. Did he happen
No,
to
we
go
were the
going
only
the
2
same
people
way?
on the street. It was about 4 in the morning, right outside my hotel in
My God,
downtown.
what color was he? What color was he?
Why is that important?
What color was he?
Why is that
Oh,
important?
because it is important. Because what color was he?
When there are
color?
2
He-
people
he-
on the
he-
street and he
oh, so it was a
follows
white guy.
me
It was a
blocks
white guy.
towards my hotel, he's looking to do something. I don't care
know,
what
yeah,
color he
okay.
is.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. You.
Jacksonville.
I'm telling you.
Jacksonville.
Oh,
Why does
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville? Why does Jacksonville have the highest crime rate in Florida? Where you live? Why is it the highest crime rate?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I don't look at that.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Democrats.
Tell me why.
Democrats like you. The reason my neighborhood is pretty much crime free. I mean, somebody may go a little too long on mowing their lawn or something. They might get a violation for that. But short of that, very little crime. It's because in my neighborhood, I live in a Republican community, and we don't put up with that.
Right. Right. Yeah. And yeah. Okay.
I mean, you
Well,
make
good for you.
excuses for criminals. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, all right? Oh, my goodness.
No, we don't.
Oh, boy. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian Craig. Open phone, Open Mag and Mike Friday has started off with a bang. That first guy really surprises me. That first guy that calls, he's been coming to our appearances for years and years and years. And most of the time, I think they've been at Wings Plus. And I don't think I've ever seen him order a meal when he's at Wings Plus. And he's calling in and he's pissed at Steve. He's upset with me. It never ceases to amaze me. That guy, he may hold the record for. I remember his voice because he goes to so many appearances. He may hold the record as the listener who's gone to the most personal appearances that Steve Kane and I have done together over the years. And he hates us both. What the hell is that all about? That doesn't even make sense. We'll be right back. Bizarre. Bizarre. Golly. And I'm nice to everybody. If you ever meet me, I'm nice to everybody. Sometimes people try to start crap with me. I'm nice until there was a guy that got confrontational with me at the last appearance. That guy, there was a verbal exchange. There was, but my goodness. So bizarre. I don't understand that. I mean, why would that guy come to so many of our appearances if he can't stand either of us? I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's weird. It's weird. I don't have my other YouTube channel anymore, but I'm pretty sure I have that video. I think if I still have that Jacksonville video, I'll put it up for the Patreon supporters. I don't want to put it on this channel. Or maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. It was I'll put it up for the Patreon supporters. If I still have it. It was on my other channel. Jacksonville is dangerous. You know what? Well, I'll tell the story on the air whenever it was. Got a little more than a minute. I'll tell the story when we get back. It was the dumbest thing I ever did, that video. It was the weekend I went to those Star Trek sets that were in Georgia. Oh my goodness. Open Mag and Mike Friday. Started off pretty good. Oh boy. Welcome back, everyone. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to tell people what happened in Jacksonville real quick. It'll be quick, then I'll go back to the phones. I did make a YouTube video of this from my other YouTube channel that I use that I don't use anymore. But if I still have this video, I'll make it available to you guys. I was meeting some friends that I had not seen in over 30 years, some of them, some of you longer. And we were meeting in Georgia, South Georgia, for something. And I stayed in Jacksonville a couple of nights at this hotel on the St. Johns River. And it was crazy as it was, just coincidentally, I stayed at this same hotel back in 1988, which was the last time I was in Jacksonville before this. And I have friends that live, 45 minutes or so west of Jacksonville. And they of course, they offered for me to stay at their house, and we would go to this place in Georgia together. And because of the hours that I have, I said, no. I wake up so early. I'm just going to stay in a hotel in Jacksonville off of 95, and we'll just meet off at 95. And I woke up like I always do. It was a Saturday or a Sunday, can't recall. And it was about 3, 4 in the morning. And I said, I'm going to go make a vlog. I'm going to walk around the hotel. It was like 4 in the morning. And there really was no one on the street. And I hear this alarm going off. And I walk, and I did this on this YouTube video. I have this video probably still on my other channel, even though I don't use the channel anymore. So I'll see if I can make it available to you guys. But I hear this alarm going off. And so I walk towards the alarm. I'm the only one out there. It's like 4 in the morning or so. And it's in a parking garage. And it's a loud alarm. I don't know what's going on in there. And I turn around, and a guy crosses the street and starts following me all the way back to the hotel. It was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life, and the guy was obviously going to rob and kill me. I wasn't live streaming on YouTube. I was just filming. So, I thought my with my iPhone. So I thought, well, maybe somebody will find my iPhone, and it'll be kind of like the Blair Witch Project. But it was scary, and I'll never go back to Jacksonville, Florida ever again. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Name is Scott, Kansas City.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah. I have a lot of concerns about Trump having an enormity of issues and things he's got to deal with in the country with Chinese investment and ownership of properties, money being sent out of the country, illegal rackets going on through the cities.
Yeah.
And politicians in those cities just turning a blind eye. Not turning a blind eye. They turn a blind eye and they got their hand out.
Yeah. Well, hold on one second. So where are you going with this? You talking about the Chinese-owned farmland?
Oh my God, yes, we've got it here in our part of the country. I heard a podcast about how it's all over Maine, and I just wonder if it's in Florida.
Well, I don't know. I don't know who owns all the property, but U.S. farmland is a national security issue, right? I mean, it's our food supply, and the Chinese have bought up so much farmland. I mean, think about what they could do. Say they own a whole bunch of strawberry farms, and you could stop the strawberries from growing, and it would look like an accident. What impact would that have on the economy, right? I mean, and a lot of the farmland they bought is near military bases for spy purposes too. But the Chinese or any foreigners owning farmland is very, very dangerous. But one of the reasons they own so much farmland is because Democrats, it used to be families used to own farms. And I live in sunny South Florida now, but I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio, and that's a big city, but Columbus is a farm state, and there's a lot of farms. And one thing I always have known about farmers, I've never known a farmer who wasn't wealthy. It's valuable. But the Democrats have cost families their farms over the years through their death taxes. And what happens is mom and pop farmer die, and because of those death taxes we used to have, the family would have to sell the family farm just to pay the taxes. And yeah, that's right. So over the years, the family farms, for the most part, have disappeared and turned into, corporate things. And these, as Rush said, the Chi-Coms come in and have been buying them all up for spying and having control over our food supply. They should all be all Chinese-owned land should be seized and sold.
There's
Yes.
talk about it being done here in Missouri.
Yeah. They should. It should all be seized and sold. But isn't Kansas City where that couple was that got their house overrun and they came out to defend themselves from BLM? Wasn't that? Where was that? What city was that? You guys remember that?
Yeah, that was Kansas City, but I don't know many details of it.
I can't remember what town that was.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, that's a problem. And the Trump administration, they just had a big announcement about that a couple days ago, taking land from the CCP. It's got to be done.
Yeah, and like I said, I heard a podcast about a guy who's trying to alert somebody in Maine that the powers of P, but he finds out that the powers of P are all on the take. And he's very disturbed by that. Yeah,
local politicians around the country are corrupt. I mean, that's, you think there's corruption in Washington. It's nothing compared to the local level. The local politicians, there's so much corruption with zoning and local contracts and everything else. Hey, listen, welcome to the show, and thanks for the call. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Trevor from Utah.
Hey, all right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Jerome from California. How's it going, bro?
All right, Jerome. What's on your mind?
I didn't realize you were scared to walk around your own state, man. That's just funny to me.
I'm not afraid to walk around my state, but I would not recommend walking around Jacksonville if you like living.
Come on, you're better than that, Brian. You're better than that. You know you are.
Really? What do you think would happen to me if I defended myself against some guy who's not white in Jacksonville, Florida.
Probably what happened with,
I'd be done. I'd be done. They'd say this MAGA guy,
George,
they'd pull out tapes of me from over the years and say I'm a they'd bury me under the jail. What?
But didn't Zimmerman walk away, though?
Zimmerman should have gone to jail. I did not support his acquittal. He should have gone to jail. Unfortunately, he did. Unfortunately, he did. I would like to have seen Zimmerman go to prison.
That, right?
That Zimmerman should have gone to prison? Yes.
That other
yes.
Guy kind of pegged you, man. It's funny because you are a blue racist. You know that, right?
I'm not. Give me an example of my most recent racism.
Your colonizer comments, because you're the colonizer, Brian. This is native land.
Native to who?
You're the colonizer, Brian. You get that, right?
No, I'm not a colonizer.
Yeah, your ancestry is, unfortunately, for Americans. Yes.
What?
Did you
what?
Tell me, what did you do for your career in education?
I've worked in radio my entire adult life.
So you have no real. I'm just putting this out there. You have no real actual education, then, correct? Like on history.
No, I have a college degree.
You have no. You have a college degree in communications, correct?
No.
No, is it in history?
What? I'm not going to answer all your questions. What you're trying to do. What you're trying to do.
You need to understand meaning.
I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. You're trying to get information. You're trying to get information so you can dox me or something.
Why are you so afraid to have conversations, Brian? Are you like?
Well, you're asking a lot of personal questions. No, I do not have a degree in communications. I have a degree in history and education. A 4-year college degree.
You do have a degree in history. Great.
Yes, I do.
What was your thesis?
In your bachelor program, you don't have a thesis. I don't have a master's or PhD. I have a bachelor's degree. No.
You have a bachelor's, so you don't have a graduate.
Correct.
Like a master's.
Correct. I have a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
What, is that not enough education for you?
What history are you excelling in then?
What does that mean?
Like, what is your history? Like, what is your forte? Like, what did you study mostly for your bachelor on history?
When you have a...
Because I'm trying to get you to understand the definition of the term colonizer, because this is why it's taken so long, Brian. Because
you think... I get it. You think you're walking me down a garden path. Excuse me. To colonize... Excuse me. No. To colonize... and by the way...
What is a colonizer? Define colonization.
If you stop talking, I'll answer some questions for you, okay? And explain what I'm talking about. But, what you're talking about with definitions of colonizing and all this stuff,
definitions matter, Brian.
That wouldn't fall under history. That would fall under anthropology.
That does fall under...
It would fall on... No, you study colonizers in history, but the definitions you're talking about are part of anthropology.
You are ancestrally...
A colonizer is... Excuse me. No, a colonizer...
Yes, you came to America, which was a...
I came to America? No, I was born in America. All right, thank you for your call. I'm not going to sit here and have somebody interrupt after every syllable. We'll be right back. This Open Mic Friday is a doozy. I'm telling you, these people are triggered today. What the hell? Why are people so triggered today? Any idea? What the heck? Oh my goodness. A colonizer, to be a colonizer, you go somewhere. It can be anywhere. You can, and what do? You establish a community there, right? And then you start taking over that community in your own way, with your own government, with farming and everything else. And if you look at, I don't care about the textbook definition of what a colonizer is or a colony, but if you look in California and elsewhere in this country, we have colonies of Latin Americans and from other countries too. Look at Ilhan Omar's town, right? We have colonies of foreign nationals that are establishing their own systems and their own cultures on our land. That's colonizing. My goodness.
Hello?
Hold on. Oh, boy. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. Okay, we'll be back. Let's see, what time? In 1 minute. We'll be back in 1 minute. I'll respond to the guy about the colonizer. I want to get it out because it's important, okay? But he didn't want me to get it out. He was just hysterical. I don't know, do guys get periods now or something? Because some of these guys I'm talking to today just sound hysterical. All right, we're back. Open MAGA Mike Friday is really kicked off pretty good. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to respond to the last caller because I opened the show with this. I was talking about how our country, the invasion has stopped because President Trump has stopped it. But what's happened is we've been colonized, and there's a couple things that have been going on. I want to get to this clip of Joe Rogan shortly, which he doesn't understand. He's not a very smart guy, Joe Rogan. And you look at what's going on with this Zohan in New York City, Ilhan Omar and her community, the Somalian community in Minnesota, what's going on in California with this pot farm raid and everything else. And I've been saying this for quite some time, that America is being colonized. And this one guy that they called, I would love to have had a conversation with him. And by the way, this is not an invitation to call back. You had your one call for the day. But I want to explain what I mean. When someone is colonizing, which the illegals are doing in this country, in Minnesota, the Somalian community have their own police. When colonizers come to a land, they take it over. They bring their holidays, they bring their culture, and they override what is already there. Like Cinco de Mayo shuts down the whole city in Southern California. Here in South Florida, who cares? You don't even know. It's just a thing on the calendar. Think life is normal. Maybe they give you an extra taco at Taco Bell or something on special. But that's it. And they've not only brought their culture and their flags. I saw out at that pot farm thing Mexican flags, right? But also they've made their way inside government. Look at the squad. Look at how Democrats in this country. Look at Mayor Bass. Her constituents obviously are the illegals, not Americans. Governor Newsom, when he was running for governor a while back, he went to Central America. I can't remember which country, on a campaign stop. Remember that? So that's what colonization is. This isn't the day of the conquistadors where they're over here looking for, silver or the fountain of youth. They're coming over here to take the fertile land of our great country, the United States, and not immersing themselves in our culture, but bringing their culture here and taking over. That's why I say they're colonizing us, and they are. And President Trump has slowed it down a lot. He stopped new colonists from coming in, but it's going to be a long road to stop the colonization to continue, because places like California and Minnesota are so far gone. And that could happen in New York if this weirdo commie becomes the mayor. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Elise. I'm calling from West Palm.
Hey, Elise.
How you doing?
All right.
I'm calling because, the thing I worry about the most is the midterms with President Trump. I don't know if this country can actually wait until the midterms for anything to come out or be done as far as the nefarious men and women that have been running this country. So it's even the Epstein stuff, how long will actually the people wait for Donald Trump to catch up to where they want him to be as far as
I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're saying.
Don't you I think by the midterms, I hope that this whole Epstein situation does not hurt our president.
The Epstein situation's never going to be resolved, okay? This is going to be something that goes along forever because liberals are, listen, the reason I'm pissed off at Pam Bondi, this was a PR disaster. Why did she even tackle this issue?
I'm really pissed off at Pam
why
Bondi.
Why did she even open up this can of worms? There's a lot of other things she could have done. And what she's done is liberals are now pretending to be MAGA all over the place and being very vocal, acting like they're upset MAGA. She created a scandal where there didn't need to be one. She's stupid. I think she's gotten by on her good looks her whole life.
She also shined the light on something that really got me really upset, is that she brought forth things that about the president, for instance, that interview with that author, William Wolf. Is that his name? The one that was talking to Epstein towards the end of his life, and he has those.
Well, part of the problem is why? Listen, this is the thing. Why are you talking about Epstein right now?
Yeah, right.
And what I said yesterday, I've talked about it a lot this week because there was breaking.
It shouldn't have even been brought up. It shouldn't have even brought up.
Let me explain. Let me explain what I mean. I've been talking about it this week because it was in the news and there was new stuff happening. I'm only going to talk about it when there's news when something comes up about it that's newsworthy. I may or may not talk about it. But going and rehashing all this stuff, what President Trump meant when he said the guy's dead. He's not carrying on with his racket anymore, okay? Because he's been out of circulation for years. Now that doesn't excuse all the people that were in his network. But, this is not President Trump's main priority, okay? It's not. It's not in his realm.
Exactly.
And Pam Bondi screwed up by making this really a conspiracy issue. And she's opened up this can of worms. She's so stupid for getting involved in this. She should be fired just for being stupid enough to do this. She doesn't understand
I personally never
PR.
liked her.
I never had a problem with her until now.
Oh, really? I don't know. Years ago, I looked up at the TV one day and I saw her and I was like, no, boy, no. One more thing before I get off the phone. Did you happen to catch the Bono interview with Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Oh Oh my God, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I did a show on that.
I thought Joe Rogan was going to bottle feed him.
If you go to my YouTube channel, I did a whole show on that. There's a thumbnail with.
I have to watch it because you remember I called before and I told you, how I felt about Bono supposedly, as far as. Well,
let me tell you this. U2 sucks. They never were good. They only became. No, I'm serious. And I was at that. I'm their demo. I never liked U2. The only reason U2 became famous is because they were singing the rock and roll when all that violence was going on in Northern Ireland. So they were kind of on that. If you want a good Irish band, the late Dolores O'Riordan and the Cranberries, U2 sucks. They always sucked. They're not as bad as Bruce Springsteen. That guy sounds like a kazoo, or he's constipated, and he can't even sing.
Agreed.
But no, Bono. I know he's very rich. I got to run. It's time for our top of the hour break. If you're on hold, stand by. Open Mega Mike Friday has gotten crazy, people. Oh my goodness. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break for the top and be right back. All right. Okay. What a day. Holy smokes. I mean, what the heck? If you're on hold, hang in there. I don't know about that guy's girlfriend, but I do know him because I've met him so many times. And, I mean, if he's got a hot girlfriend, God bless him. If you saw this guy, oh my goodness. I don't know why he was so rude. I'm texting with Mike, the board up at the radio station. We're back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. If you missed the first hour, holy smokes, you missed something. Oh, boy. Open Mega Mike Friday, open phones, anything and everything on your mind is fair game. And the first hour was some of the most bizarre calls we've gotten in a while. If you're on hold, hang in there. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Before we go back to the phones, I want to talk about Dr. Philip Appleton, who rid me of pain the first time 3 years ago with my knee. It's amazing, right? And 7 times in total, from arthritis, shoulder injuries, my knee injuries. He's rid me of pain time and time again. Eli, hang in there. You okay? I clicked you on by accident. Hold on, Eli. I'm doing a spot here for Dr. Philip Appleton. And I had the last time I went in for a shoulder injury, I took a bad fall, and I was in a lot of pain. And I thought for sure I was going to need surgery. I was in so much pain. I was almost in tears. Remember that one day I was on the air. It was it must have been a Friday, and I said it had to be a Friday. And the feeling in my shoulder, it felt like someone took like a steak knife from your silverware drawer, stuck it in my shoulder, and was cutting. And that was in the front. And then on the side, it felt like at the same time I was getting punched by Tyson when he was the champ, right? Tyson punched me now, it hurt. But it was bad. And I went to see Dr. Appleton, and Dr. Appleton, I said, Doc, I'm going to need all your miracle work today because I'm in so much pain. I'm almost in tears. I can't. He's like, okay, let's go. Let's give you the laser treatment. And by the time I left the office, I was already starting to feel better. Okay? I really was. And I told Dr. Appleton, I said, I thought I was going to be getting surgery. And I went back for more treatments. The pain's gone, and it has not returned. And I told Dr. Appleton, I said, Doc, if I'd have gone to the orthopedist, they'd have had the surgery scheduled on the first visit. The second visit, I'd be in there getting cut, and it's probably what would have happened. Surgeons, it's not that surgeons are bad, but all they know is how to do surgery. They don't know that there's other ways, and that laser treatment is amazing. And let me tell you, when I describe how that pain felt, it was even worse than that. And it was some of the worst pain I've ever had. Obviously, I'm a man and have never given birth to a child, but from what I've heard from women, it's a painful thing. I imagine the shoulder pain I have was as close as a man could get to the pains of childbirth. It was that bad, and I'm pain-free, and the pain hasn't returned. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain, too. And remember, walk-ins are welcome. Appointments are never necessary, even on Saturdays, okay? 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. This guy here, I lost track of the lines. This person called in before the show started, and they've been on hold an hour and 15 minutes. So I don't know if I'll give him one more chance. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, I'm going to let him. Oh, he said hello as I hit the hang-up button. He's been on hold an hour and 15 minutes. Oh, my goodness. I feel bad. You can call back, guy. I don't know who you are. You call back. He called like 15 minutes before the show started, and I hit the button. Let me see if this is him. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Baby, Texas. Sorry.
Are you the guy that's been holding on for an hour and 15 minutes that I hung up on by accident?
Yeah.
Okay, this ought to be good then.
Okay.
Oh,
you know how
it's not going to be good.
People on the
not going to be good.
Instagram.
What?
Like all over on Instagram.
What about Instagram?
I've seen these people talk shit about the.
Okay, there we go. Boom. First dump of the day. That guy held on for an hour and 14 minutes for that. First dump of the day. Oh, my goodness. It's not that you have to hold on that long. It's just, he called in before the show even started, and the phones are pretty full, and I just lost track of what order they were in, and I looked down because I could see how long everyone's been on hold, right? Like this person's been on hold 2 minutes and 55 seconds, and I looked down, I saw an hour and 14 minutes. I was like, holy smokes, I better take that guy. Oh, man. All right. Well, it is Open MAGA Mike Friday, as you can tell, but profanities are not allowed. All right. The delay is re-engaged. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time, Fridays is open phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And one of our listeners, Christine in Pennsylvania, came up with that Open MAGA Mike Friday thing, and I like that. I didn't want to say Open Phone Friday because that was Rush Limbaugh's thing. I don't want to copy from Rush, especially after these guys that think they've replaced Rush are copying so much of what he did poorly. I don't want to copy anything of Rush's. He's so great. But it's the other 4 days of the week, Monday through Friday, you got to call in about what we're talking about. But on Friday, the show prep is up to you. All right, let's go. The delay is re-engaged. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, yes, this is Sandra from Indiana.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey, and I just want to say I'm sorry you had those ugly callers on there that were talking to you.
Well, you know, the one guy I can't understand. The one guy that called, he has gone to like 30 appearances Steve and I have done over the years. And I'm always pleasant to him. I mean, I don't know his name, but I say hi to him and everything, and I see him. He doesn't talk much. And he calls in, he hates us both. If he hates us both so much, why does he go to all our appearances?
Well, the thing is, when you try to talk to a liberal, they do nothing but argue, yell, and they cannot have a coherent conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another thing is, if that Zohan does end up becoming mayor of New York City, like you were talking about colonization, that will happen just like Ilhar Omar and where she's living in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, Minnesota, you know, my wife has some family in Minnesota, and it sucks. It sucks. I mean, you know, when I talk about the Somalians having their own police force, I'm serious. You know, here in Florida, you know, we've got the Seminole tribe, you know, the Seminole Indian tribe of Florida. If you're on the res, they got their own police.
Yeah.
When I went to Alligator Alcatraz a couple weeks ago, I had to drive through when I was driving there, I was driving through the Miccosukee Indian reservation, and that's patrolled by Indian police. But those are Native American Indian tribes, right? You know, these are Africans from a third world pit of hell that's basically an anarchy. What the hell are they doing with the police force in Minnesota? That's colonization.
Well, you remember the town that's in Texas that's like that, and also the Muslims were wanting to try and put one, you know, they're
trying to get this humongous Muslim, I don't know what it is, kind of like a Westworld, but a Muslim world. They're trying to build like the Mecca of Texas. See, the Democrats have for years been trying to turn Texas into a blue state. Texas is so large population-wise. They have a lot of electoral college votes. And they know that if they can turn Texas blue, the Democrats will control the country. And they've been trying it for years unsuccessfully, but now they're trying with this Muslim community to get Muslims to move there and build these huge communities, and that's how they're trying to turn it blue now.
That's what will happen to New York City. It'll become another Gaza Strip if that mayor is elected. Because once you get him in and anyone tries to run against him next time, that, you know.
Well, ask yourself this question. On September 12th, you know, Steve and I were live on the air during 9/11 here in South Florida.
Yes.
And we used to be on till 10 a.m., so we were on and everything. If I would have come on the air on September 12th, 2001, and said in 2025, New York City will, the Democrat nominee for mayor of New York City will be a Muslim, what would you have said on September 12th? What would you said? I'm nuts. There's no way. Look at these buildings. There's no way. And now look, here we are.
You remember the movie Soylent Green?
Absolutely, Charlton Heston, and
yeah.
who else? Who played his father? Anybody remember?
Edward G.
Robinson. That's
Edward
correct.
G. Robinson.
Correct.
My mother and I were watching that back in the 70s, and my mother pointed at the TV, and she said, that will happen in New York City in the future.
Yeah, it's getting close.
And that movie scared me to death.
It should scare you to death.
People need to watch 1984 by George Orwell.
I'd recommend the book, not that book with not the movie with John Hurt. The movie's not that good.
Well, it was okay with 1984. I'm not a big reader.
It came out in 1984, the movie, and I remember I was a kid and I watched it. It has full frontal nudity in it. I'm like, what the heck, They were showing it to us kids because it was, George Orwell's book. But read the book. Don't watch that movie. The movie sucks.
What gets me is people my age, and I'm not going to say how old I am, how they have forgotten about what it was like during Nazi Germany and everything that I was taught in history.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, they have totally forgotten what happened to the Jews. They forget how Lenin or Stalin, one of the two, you had bread lines. You had to stand in line to get your bread, your milk, your meat,
That's
and
right.
everything. And here that guy is wanting government-run grocery stores.
Well, he's a communist.
Yeah,
and he's also, but he's rich. He went to a $69,000 a year private school growing up as a kid. My whole college education probably didn't cost that much. His mother has been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Director. He's from a very wealthy, affluent family. But he's there for the working man.
And another thing, the government never paid my mother's way through nursing school, never paid my way through nursing school. We did it ourselves by working.
Yeah, that's right. I paid my way through college too, and it took me a long time to get through school because I was working full time, had a wife, a baby, and I was paying for it. None of this student. All right, hey, appreciate the call. I got to run, but I do appreciate the call. Now listen, it is hurricane season. That's a fact, man, and it's raining. And you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing if you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you got a leak in your roof. If you get hit by a storm and you have damage, call Tom Laporta right away. His response time is amazing. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. And I know a lot of people are new to Florida. They don't understand about how bad it is when there's, you can have a lot of damage without a hurricane. Just with a tropical storm, you still get hurricane level wind gust. When there's a hurricane, that means sustained winds. Whenever they apply a category to a hurricane, that means there's sustained winds at that category. But in tropical storms, you still get hurricane strength wind gust. And a Cat 1 hurricane, you're still getting wind gusts that are 2, 3, and category. It's the way it is. And that roof is your first line of defense against a hurricane. Because what hurricanes are doing is looking for an entryway into your home, and a loose tile or shingle up on that roof, that's that entryway. That wind gets under there, it's gone. Give Tom Laporta a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone. You can also text him, 954-604-4602. Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing is also a contractor, okay? And in the state of Florida, that allows Tom Laporta to deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of repair or replacement of your roof. He also does commercial roof and municipal roofs as well. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back. Oh, my. We'll be back shortly, guys. All right, 30 seconds. All right, we're back. It is Open Mag and Mike Friday, so let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, I caught a little bit of what you were talking about. The Chinese are buying up some of our land. I know it's near our nuclear facilities, but how can that be even permitted? They are our adversary.
Well, I don't think they show up to town and say, hey, we're the CCP, we're here to buy your stuff. They have front people and shell companies and things. It's probably, in most instances, it's probably so far removed. So, listen, you've heard corporations are the ones buying up housing now, right? And not in rental communities, but in regular communities where homeowners live. So they do this through front companies. There's houses, and anytime a house sells in my neighborhood, I always look to see who buys it. A lot of corporations based out of California are buying residential property in Florida. They've been doing it for the last 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And they could be CCP for all I know out of California, where the CCP's operations are in North America.
Okay. Do you know if they are working the land and sending soybeans or corn or something to their starving people in China? No. I don't know about that. But they buy all this farmland for two reasons. All right, some of it's near military bases, right, that are out in the Midwest. A lot of our most like the bombers, the stealth bombers, right, that bombed Iran, they flew in there from the Midwest. The reason that so many of our nuclear weapons and the stealth bombers and fighters are based in these Midwestern areas is because it's deep inside the United States to keep it secluded. And the Chinese have just found a way around that, and that's buying up farmland near our military bases to spy. And then when during the Otto Penn administration of Joe Biden, that balloon that they flew over was to update their intelligence on our nuclear missile silos and our military bases for two reasons. One, so that they could target their missiles more accurately, but also that was part of their real estate racket, so they knew where they wanted to buy land. Oh, the stealth bombers over here. Let's see what we can buy nearby. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. It shouldn't be permitted. We look like fools.
But if they do it through shell companies that are 50 companies removed, it's not so easy to know that it's the Chinese. You understand what I mean? They don't show up. They don't show up and have some guy that looks like Charlie Chan come out and buy the land. They have American people buy the land. And if you looked up their company online, it would look legit.
If I won the Powerball and I flew to Beijing and said I want to buy 500,000 acres
in this city. You think they would let me do that?
But that's, see, you're not hearing me. They have,
No, I hear you.
it's very far removed. And when a lot of times the people that work, the Americans that work for these companies buying the land, a lot of times they probably don't even know they're working for the CCP. It's so far removed. You understand?
I understand. It just frustrates me.
So if you're some guy in Kansas and you inherited your dad's farm, and a company comes or an individual comes and offers to buy it, and he seems American, you wouldn't even. And if you look these people up in these companies online, they look legit. So it's not that obvious, is what I'm telling you, when they do it.
Right. It has a middleman or something.
Middleman? No, many of these are probably 30 or 40 times removed. Let me tell you, I've known a lot of Chinese people in my life, and Chinese people are the smartest people I've ever known. We Americans have learning disabilities compared to the Chinese. The Chinese are so smart. Okay? And
I think there was something on the news. That there is a protest going on somewhere, and they're trying to stop it.
This is what's going on. Okay? You know, Hitler and Napoleon tried to take over Europe with armies and conquering and marching and battles and everything else. And what's happened? The Islamic world has learned how to take over Europe. You just migrate. You just move. And then you're there and you take over. That's what they've done to Europe, and England's fallen. You know, and what's going on with China, China's done it in a couple of different ways. One, they're buying off American politicians that are corrupt, right? And even though it's a communist military police state dictatorship of sorts, they still partake in capitalism, and they have all these companies, and they go around and buy things, and they buy things up. And I would imagine they're very, very smart, is what I'm telling you. And if the Soviet Union would have handled the United States like China is, we would not have won the Cold War. What they're doing is so smart. And, America, we have a lot of things that we cherish. And one thing we cherish is our love of legal immigration and diversity. And they use that against us. If you find out who they are, you're a bigot. You're an Islamophobe. You're this, you're that. And American liberals fall on the ground in a fetal position and beg for their forgiveness. But this country is being taken over in a way that has been envisioned. There was in the 1980s, there was a miniseries starring Chris Christopherson called America. It was, and they spelled America with a K, and it took place 15 years after the Soviet Union took over. And it kind of like foretold what we're going through now. There was never an invasion or a war. They just did what the Chinese are doing to us now. And Chris Christopherson played a guy who was a congressman. And Robert Urich was in the movie back when the takeover happened. And he was shouting from the top of his lungs, "We're being taken over by the Soviets. No one wants to listen to me." And then they did. That's what's going on with China and some other countries around the world. The globalists. They're taking over us and other countries, and it's happening each and every day. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, hold on, Doug. Hold on. I'm answering all these phones. Okay. Your name came up earlier by one of the callers.
I did. I didn't hear that. I was
in the first hour. Oh my goodness! Don't miss the first. Go back and listen to the first hour. Oh my goodness!
I did. I was listening to the first hour when all those liberals that are not very kind.
One guy called in and said that he asked me to introduce him to you, and he said I'm so stuck up. That I couldn't be. I know Doug's met me a few times. He knows. I'm so stuck up I wouldn't do it. Now keep in mind, at Wings Plus on Inauguration Day, the turnout was so emotionally overwhelming for Steve and I. It was standing room only.
Yes.
And there was somebody there that was threatening to me, where I had to be escorted to my car
from Wings Plus because I was in danger. And you may have seen there was a confrontation with me and a listener inside Wings Plus. But this guy thought I slighted him. I'm getting escorted out, because I'm in danger. And, and I'm supposed to do introductions for this guy or I'm a jerk. I don't know. You got to hear the call.
I would have certainly escorted you out, and if I would have known about that, but I guess I might have left early, maybe. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, what I was going to say is, yesterday the liberals were all, before I heard you say.
Oh, and I'll say this, Doug. I'll tell you this: when sometimes at appearances, people do ask me, like, is Doug here? Is conservative Doug here? And I always tell them, you'll know him. He's got big muscles. You wouldn't think it, but he's in shape. Doug's in shape. He's and so I say you find a guy, he's in shape, not a young man, but not old yet, but you'll know him. He's decked. He's got guns, and that's what I always tell people. Look for a guy that's got muscles busting out of his arms. That's conservative Doug. That's what I always tell people, or a variation of that.
Well. That's pretty accurate, I guess.
Yeah, see, it is. That's right. That's right.
Anyway, I get this point because I know you got to go. But the liberals yesterday, before I heard you say Gershwin said there's a list, asked me, why did they take the list? I said, there's probably a list of people who have associated with Epstein, but there's no list of people who have done crimes that you can. Excuse me. I'm choking here.
You okay?
You can prove. Unless,
I can't give you a Heimlich over the phone. Oh my goodness! No, take your time. Don't talk. I don't want you. I want to make sure you don't drop dead on me here.
No, don't worry about that. No, I'm fine now. I just choked for a second. Anyway, I said there's a big difference if you have a list that you can prove something that these people did, rather than just associate with Epstein.
Yeah.
I said, if you put that list out, it's going to hurt the people. Why would you do that? So she said that she probably said there's no list, meaning that there's no list of anybody that you can prove that did anything wrong. But she said it that way because why? Because if there's just a list of people's names, the media will never give up on it. They'll keep annoying.
It's true.
That's why she did. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, Doug, I got to run. You okay? You didn't drop dead? Is the choking done?
No. Everything's fine.
Okay, he's fine. Okay, he's alive. Okay. I needed proof of life before I ended the call. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name's Brian. We'll be right back. Okay. If you're a Medicare recipient or about to turn 65, listen up. I want to talk to you about Medicare. Medicare, it's confusing. That's done on purpose, right? You go online, what do you find? More confusion. A lot of people, they try to go it alone or they deal with someone who doesn't really know what they're talking about, and what happens? It ends up costing them thousands of dollars sometimes each year. And also, they find out maybe their doctors or the medications, they might not be covered either. That's where Chapter comes in. You know, Chapter is the only national Medicare advisor that compares all of the over 24,000 plans out there for you. They'll find the one that's right for you and your budget. And no matter where you are in the United States, Chapter can help. You're going to get answers, you're going to get them fast, and you're going to get them for free. So whether you're on Medicare right now or turning 65 soon, give Chapter a call. 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. The number's also in the description of the episode. You're going to talk to a real person. They're going to walk you through everything step by step. No gimmicks, just real help. Because the right plan, it can save you thousands. Again, the number 805-754-3033. 805-754-3033. Get your Medicare questions answered free. 805-754-3033. Your health and your wallet will thank you.
And when we get back, I'm behind on the brakes, so I got to get back on track on the brakes. Or I'm going to be in so much trouble. I'm going to be in so much trouble here. But I gotta cover this Joe Rogan thing because I wanted to get to it early and I didn't get a chance to go through it, but I want to go through that in this segment. If you're on hold, hang in there because it's pretty important stuff. I mean, people just don't have an understanding of what is going on here. And when I talk about colonization is going on, that is not an understatement. And Joe Rogan's got as many brain cells as he does hairs on his head. I mean, he just doesn't get it. You know, he's just not that smart. He's just not that smart. Oh, my goodness. Well, that sounds like a call I don't want. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. My name is Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I want to apologize to you guys out there in the audience. The calls have been just wild today. From the first call at the beginning of the show, and I've gotten so wrapped up in these listeners to the program that have been calling me that I have gotten so far behind on our break schedule that I'm going to get chewed out after the show. I promise you. When I get off the air today, my phone will be ringing. I'm going to get an earful. And what's happened is I just have a traffic jam with the brakes. It's my fault. My apologies, guys. After the next break, the traffic jam will be ended because we're going to do everything on time from this point forward up until 9. It's my fault. I got to keep an eye on the clock. If you're on hold, stand by. It is Open Mag and Mike Friday and open phones, but there is, this country is in danger. I was starting at the beginning of the show talking about this Mahmoud lunatic. He's suing Trump for $20 million. You got a guy who's a Syrian on a green card, married to some collaborator wife. Okay, he's doing the work of Iran, organizing an anti-Semitic hate group at Columbia University, and he's being backed by the Iranians. Oh boy, I can't wait for that guy's call. Backed by the Iranians, who are our enemy, and he's suing us. And Joe Rogan on his program, he just doesn't get it. I want to share. This is Joe Rogan. I don't know who this guest is, but I want to share with you what he said. This was from last week. July 3rd.
I mean, that would have been...
Imagine if the same ownership was in place and then Harris wins and they continue to ramp things up.
Yeah, I don't know what you think of the new administration. Certainly there are things that I like about and some of their pro-tech posture and things like that. But
they're blabbering about the Trump deportations.
What's happening now is it's kind of disappointing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
We were told there would be no. Well, there's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up in construction sites and raiding them.
Okay, so and he goes on. Here's let me play a little bit more.
Gardeners.
Yeah.
Like really?
Or Palestinian students on college campuses. Or not, like there's a Turkey. Did you see this video of this?
Okay, so Rogan's upset at the deportations of construction workers, farm workers, and of course these Palestinian students. First off, construction work is a highly skilled job, and wages of construction workers has gone down so much in this country because the illegals come in here and they're getting paid under the table. And this is taking place all over the country. Not just California, all over America. There aren't so many handymen as there used to be because the illegals are taking those jobs too. That's skilled labor that pays well. Do you know where these construction workers end up if they're lucky to be working? Working at Lowe's and Home Depot. So they can help you when you're looking for the right screw and you don't know which screw you need. They'll help you. Most of those guys are trained people. A lot of them are contractors. And they're stocking or running a register at Home Depot because all the illegals have been getting the jobs. So far as the students and the student protest, they confuse this, Joe Rogan and others, confuse what's going on at Columbia with the Vietnam protest era. Now, the Vietnam protest era, I don't want to get sidetracked in the Soviet connection and all that, but those were Americans. Columbia University needs to be shut down permanently. It is an enemy cell that serves one purpose and one purpose only: turning people against Israel and promoting anti-Semitism and the downfall of the United States. Nothing positive comes out of Columbia University. It's a radical revolutionary hate group. It's almost like it's like if the white supremacists started a university, the races would be different, but it'd be the same thing. These protests are not regular American protests. These are people that are, like this guy Mahmoud with his $20 million lawsuit. What they're trying to do is cause revolution in this country and the downfall of our country. Don't you get it? That's what's happening here. And Joe Rogan, he's just stupid. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand why are these protests not okay, but the Vietnam ones were. It's a whole nother thing. And a lot of people are afraid to say it. That's why this guy in New York has to lose in this mayor's race. Remember, not only is his dad a Columbia professor, he's involved in that, even though he's not a student at Columbia, he's involved in that Columbia protest anti-American revolutionary circle. If Zohan becomes mayor of New York, you might as well have Mahmoud from Columbia become the mayor of New York. Now, a week from tomorrow, come meet me at Attorney Barry Siegel's Medicaid workshop. A week from tomorrow on the 19th. I'll talk more about that later. But if you saw me on Inauguration Day at Wings Plus, you're going to notice I'm a lot less man than I used to be because I've lost so much weight. And I'm so excited. I lost over 35 pounds. I wasn't hungry. I was eating foods I would normally eat. I feel great. I look great. I've lost so much weight. And it's amazing to me how many compliments I've gotten from people in the audience, because when it comes to appearance comments from people in the audience, it's always negative. But my weight loss is so dramatic. And those of you who watch me online on YouTube, television and things that you watch me on add weight. So when you see me in person, I'm thinner in person. You'll see at Attorney Barry Siegel's workshop. And those of you that were at our inauguration event, except that guy I got into a confrontation with and that guy that called in the first hour, the rest of you are welcome. And if you took pictures with me, please delete those pictures and take new ones at Barry's workshop next week. And it's all because of Coastal Weight Loss Secret. It works. I feel great. I look great. I didn't exercise. I didn't take any prescription medications. And remember this, it's a free consultation, and no matter where you're located in America, they can help you. Give them a call. And when you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlosssecret.com. We'll be right back. We'll be back in 1 minute. Oh, man, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go right to the phones when we get back. Kent State was in Ohio. That's correct. That's what it looked like in California yesterday. They were attacking the National Guard. That's what happened in Kent State. Welcome back, everyone. It is Open MAGA Mike Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air? Once, twice, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ellen.
Yes.
Baltimore.
Baltimore. What's on your mind, Baltimore? Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I hear the attitude.
Hey,
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah. What?
Yesterday you said that David Duke wasn't a Ku Klux Klan member.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said he was just a personality cult.
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
Are you sober? You sound a little drunk.
What?
You're slurring your words. Are you sober? You sound intoxicated.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Yes,
David Duke.
Yes, I am.
Okay, David Duke is, there's a modern word for what David Duke is. It's called a troll. He's a publicity hound. He was in the Ku Klux Klan a long time ago, and he is a useful idiot of the liberal media. And back in the early 90s, I can't remember exactly what year, but he ran for was it state senate he ran for in Louisiana? It was a state legislative office in Louisiana, and he registered as a Republican. Yeah. He registered as a Republican, which anyone can do, by the way. And like I could register as a Democrat today if I wanted. And the national media made him a star, Klansman Republican, and every Republican denounced him. But that didn't stop. Then he went away for many years. We didn't hear from him. And then after Trump came down the escalator, CNN brought him out of retirement to get him to endorse Trump. Oh, look, the Klan, David Duke endorsed Trump.
He was in Charlottesville. You know, I mean, you know,
he's a fake. He's
Whatever.
The media. He's a nobody that the media prop up because they want to say that the Klan are Republicans, which is nonsense. He's a media tool.
I have a question for you. How come everybody's scapegoating Pam Bondi?
Everyone's not.
I don't get it.
MAGA people we're all talking about her being fired.
Yeah, but what about, hey, consider this. You got Don, you got Cash, you got Pam. All three of those people were really excited about reporting all this on.
And the three of them messed up.
Right?
Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, and Pam Bondi messed up and have created a PR disaster for the president. They should all be fired.
Right, but they were all in unison on this.
Okay. All right. Take care. Appreciate the call. I mean, I just can't understand her. I don't know if she's intoxicated, if it doesn't have her teeth in. I don't know what's going on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Patty from New Jersey. Good morning.
Hey, Patty.
Hey, so yesterday you had a gentleman call in, and he's the one who asked about the birthright citizenship thing.
Yep.
And I have to say, I have to give him a shout out because he was level-headed and he wasn't rude, and he was asking a legitimate question about, you know, us learning all this stuff in fourth grade. And, you know, the thing is that, yes, we were absolutely taught about, you know, the ozone layer. And it's always been something that they've brought. And they always did say that if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. But the thing that everybody fails to forget, which I didn't know until President Trump brought it to the forefront, is that bill was signed into effect the day after the Civil War ended. So there was a specific reason why they signed that, and it was for the slaves' children to become American citizens.
It wasn't signed the day after. It was later in the 1868 or 9. I can't remember which year, but there was listen. When the Civil War was over, Democrats were still Democrats, okay? And they were very upset about the slaves that there were no more. So there was and they were welcomed back into the government, the Democrats. So there was a real question as to whether or not slaves, the former slaves, okay, were citizens. So they passed the amendment to establish constitutionally that the newly freed slaves and their children are U.S. citizens. It wasn't for some sex trafficker who's bringing prostitutes across the border from Venezuela through Mexico into the United States. Everybody knows this. Now, in 4th and 5th grade, they didn't get into the details of it. They gave you, but teachers in school tell you all kinds of lies. I mean, how many genders do they teach kids there are now? Just because your teacher tells you in 4th grade doesn't make it true.
Right, and the other thing is, when people come across the border,
oh, we lost your your phone's cutting out. I apologize, but you made some good points.
Your teacher tells you.
Hold on a second. Oh, the phones are ringing off the hook. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What? All right. Well, I'll have to move on from that person. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
You know, your shirt is somewhat befitting of today's show. It kind of brings me back a little bit. Reminds me of a little bit of On Fire Pyromania, maybe a little crazy.
I'm wearing a Def Leppard shirt. Yeah, somebody told me they're not MAGA. You can't, well, I could, Hey, listen, shut up and play the drums with your one arm, okay, Def Leppard? Enough.
Exactly.
We care about your politics, you redcoats.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
We don't need any redcoats telling us.
Yeah, I saw that shirt. I just started laughing. I saw the shirt, and I've been watching, listening from the beginning, and it was just kind of. You know what
I'll tell you. I love Def Leppard, and I saw them a few years ago. They did a thing on TV with Taylor Swift sang Def Leppard songs. She never even heard of Def Leppard. She's sitting and Def Leppard's playing Second Banana to Taylor Swift singing their songs. It was disgusting. Jeez.
That's pretty sad. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that. Thank God I didn't see that. But I was, you obviously you were talking a little bit about. You had a very interesting call with a guy about Jacksonville, and I had been reading a little bit about. I've been going through a lot of the FBI and DOJ case. Just reading about all the different things they've been doing with the child sex crimes they've been going after, and the DOJ prosecuting, and the the tens of thousands of immigration cases and stuff. And you talked to this guy about Jacksonville and how safe, and one of the cases was a child sex offender. He had recommitted or whatever, and they just prosecuted that case, and it got me when I was reading that. It's funny because it reminded me of your Tiptoe Through the Tulips sprint for your survival in Jacksonville, it was like a horror. I remember watching that video on your other channel.
I was scared to death.
And I was scared. What the hell are you doing? I was like going, it was like the intro. You're walking around. It could have been the opening shot of a horror show, a horror movie or something.
In fact, the video was so stupid and dangerous. I put a disclaimer on the beginning of it telling people not to do this. It was the dumbest thing I ever did.
Yeah, I was
on YouTube.
Yeah, I was shaking my head, but I'm watching it now, and when I watched it, I knew you were alive. I had proof of life from.
Well, I had to upload the video. I uploaded the video. I did the intro. Yeah, it was scary. I have not been that scared in a long time. I was.
Yeah, you could tell. You weren't. You could. I was scared for you, but at the same time, I knew you were okay. And yet still, I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. All right, I got 10 seconds. I got 10 seconds. So.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, everyone, have a great weekend. Great show, Brian.
All right, 1 hour to go. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Callers on hold. You all stand by. We'll be back after our top of the hour break. Oh, my goodness. The show is flying by. Flying by. I'll go right to the phones. I'm just going to take calls. I'm not going to bring up any more stories for a while at least. So if you're on hold, hang in there. Okay. right. Two minutes, we'll be back, and we got our breaks. I'm going to be on schedule for the rest of the show, so no backed up breaks. I got so wrapped up in these lunatics, I missed a break, and then you got to make up this. One minute, we'll be back. Oh, man. Welcome back. The third hour has begun. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way about you as well. Okay, I'm going to start off with what I'm going to call about. You're a big history nerd. Let me turn off my other phone.
Yeah, turn off the volume and turn on your mind. Did you turn your mind on? Did you turn your mind on?
Yeah.
Good. Turn your mind on. Good.
Good. There you go.
Yeah.
We're on the same thing. There you
Yeah.
go.
Mm-hmm.
You're a big history nerd, and you know all about history and the way things went during that time, because you can, you spit it out all the time like that. But you can't seem to see things if it's not exactly the white way. You only see things the white way. You don't see things the right way. You don't see that everybody.
This is like that. Remember that. This is so ridiculous. Remember that Michael Jackson album, His Story, which is he took history, his story. Listen, we have a shared. You and I, as much as you don't want to believe this, have a shared history. It's the American story. I mean, look at you. I say you and I have a shared history, the American story.
Okay, yeah, cool. Right now, we're like Germany, and you can't see it. Why? Because like the way the Germans collected the Jews and put them in, you don't see that we're doing the exact same thing, just a new version of it.
I want to slow down and let's just try to have I want to have a serious conversation about what you said, because a lot of people are saying this, right? Alligator Auschwitz, we're rounding up people like the Germans rounded up the Jews. When the Germans first started rounding up Jews, where did they round them up from?
I don't know and don't care.
No, you brought it up. I'm gonna tell you, because I'm not gonna.
Yeah, so why would I know that part?
Because you referenced it. That's what I'm talking about. Because you referenced it. I'm talking about what you referenced. Listen.
Okay.
I'm gonna excuse me. Okay. Well, I want to tell you. Listen. No. When they first started rounding up Jews, what country did they start rounding them up in? First.
I know that, but it's not coming to me right now.
Germany. And Austria. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to tell you the difference between when they rounded up Jews in Germany and what's going on now. Okay? I'm not going to ask you many questions. I'm just going to tell you, because obviously you don't have much knowledge to what you say, and your reference points are weak.
No, I'm not a history
What
nerd.
Germany did they passed laws, the Nuremberg laws and others, and they said Jews are no longer citizens, and they stripped them of their citizenship and the rights they had as Germans. And they shipped them off to concentration camps where most of them they killed on day one in the gas chambers and the showers. And others they starved to death and worked to death. So they took citizens of their country, said you're no longer citizens, and then they took them off to death camps. What's going on here in the United States is nothing like that. The people that are being picked up are not U.S. citizens. They're in the country illegally, and they're being treated humanely through even a legal process and being put in facilities that have air conditioner, 3 squares a day, cable TV, and internet, and everything else. There's no comparison between the two.
Wait a minute, hold on. You seem to believe that these people are being treated good. They said the mosquitoes down there in that swamp are as big as your hand. They're being eaten up by it. I know the ones up here that they got in the those detention centers in North. They're not even feeding them 3 meals a day. They don't even get
here
water.
In Florida.
They're not even getting bottles
I
of water.
got news for you. Right now on my ankle. You know what's on my ankle right now? It's not an ankle bracelet. You know what's on my ankle right now? On my right ankle?
Probably an ankle bracelet, but what?
No ankle bracelet. Why would I have an ankle bracelet? You're telling me they arrest white people? I'm in shock. I thought white privilege existed and white people didn't get arrested. No. Mosquito bites. Because I don't wear socks. And in Florida, everybody gets bitten by mosquitoes. Okay? We have mosquitoes everywhere. There's a lot of bugs in Florida. We have palmetto bugs. We have mosquitoes. It's rainy season, so there's more blood.
Why would you
everybody?
Celebrate?
Well, I don't understand. No, you said they're getting eaten by mosquitoes. I just got an itch on my arm. Everyone in Florida is getting eaten by mosquitoes. That's Florida, man.
But do you realize that people are being picked up that are United States citizens, and when they hand them their ID, they take it and throw it away and take them away anyway?
Really? Who'd they do that to? I'll look the story up right now. They stopped at America.
They did it to this guy named John. They did it to
a guy named John. Some guy named John. And
it was on the news.
Listen.
It was on the news.
Listen,
when his father had to get him out.
So they picked up an American citizen. He said, "This is my ID," and they threw it away.
Citizens.
This is what happens, okay? And if you look at this event at the farm in California yesterday, that's in the news today, it looked like
I saw that disgusting bunch of mess.
I know. I couldn't believe they were attacking these illegals were attacking the National Guard. It was just like Kent State.
Oh, I'm so glad they did.
Oh, really?
What
you think you like foreign nationals attacking American soldiers? What's wrong with you? But here's the thing.
American soldiers are over there shooting Americans, too.
They had gas. They were shooting tear gas. But this is what happens. They round the people up. God. They round the people up, and then they question them and investigate. If they're an American citizen, they go bye-bye. I saw local NBC affiliate interviewed a guy who's an American citizen, whose English is very poor, but he's an American citizen. He was detained. They let him go.
You know what? Why would you have that one little situation?
Have you seen it? It was a battle.
That's American citizens.
Are you kidding me?
Just because they're Mexican,
that looks like. You know what that looked like? Let me finish my. I'm going to finish my thought first. That pot farm event that's in the news today. That looks like that's like the Mexican-American War. We had U.S. soldiers being attacked by Mexican nationals. And you think
you said your piece.
You're on the side of Mexico and that.
Listen, when they took all them Mexicans and shipped them up here on buses, the first thing that should have been done. But if Biden didn't do it, but he should have. They should have took that bus, turned it back around, took it to the border, and put them out there. They shouldn't have put them out here in America. I agree with that. But this savage way that they're doing them, you do know that.
Savage? Did you see the Mexican? Excuse me.
Yes.
Did you see the Mexican lady, the National Guard? This is at the pot farm in California, guys. They got the tear gas. Did you see the Mexican lady with the leaf blower who was blowing the smoke back at the soldiers, the American soldiers? You're on their side?
Well, I'm glad she was smart enough to do that.
Oh, she got arrested.
Well, she did probably will do. She probably
You're
gonna get
happy.
deported
Wait a
too.
minute.
She's probably American.
You're on the side of foreign nationals attacking
No,
U.S.
I'm
soldiers.
not on the side.
Why don't you
Listen,
support?
so
Well, hold
what they're
on
doing
a
it-
second.
they're doing it
Why are
like
you
Germany.
Why are you not supporting the troops? You're not supporting American troops. We got boots on the ground in California, and you're supporting those attacking American soldiers? Do you support our troops? Oh boy.
Because the soldiers are not doing a good job.
Oh, they're not doing a good job. All right, take care. Wow. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
The troops.
What's your name?
Hey, Brian.
Yep.
We got boots on the ground in California.
Turn down the volume. Yeah, turn down the volume in the background. It's a great show you're listening to. I hear it in the background. That's the best show on the radio. But please turn it down.
Yes.
It's me she's
I got
listening
it
to.
down.
Okay, thank you.
for answering this call. Your music was giving me a headache.
Oh, well.
Well, anyway, I'm not one of these Looney Tunes that are going to call and berate you and curse you out and all that other stuff.
Oh, too bad.
I wanted to call to say that you handled them very well, and I'm very sorry that you had to go through all that, and you have to be berated by these morons. I just look, oh, by the way, I'm Helen from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, hey, Helen.
And I just, I watch your show all the time. This is my first call.
Oh, well, welcome. You're from Brooklyn. Do you know AOC? Oh, she's from the Bronx.
Personally?
She claims to be from the Bronx. So, I mean, listen, you're from New York City.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this Zohan who's trying to become the mayor of New York City? Pretty scary, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I was told we're not allowed to curse, so I'm just going to say we're screwed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the other thing, too. Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking? I was thinking along the lines that this idiot that's suing the city, I wouldn't be surprised if that moron, if he gets in as mayor, hires him as deputy mayor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean Mahmoud? If Zohan becomes mayor, that Mahmoud guy will have a senior position for the mayor's office. The one that's suing for 20.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Absolutely. No, that I'm not joking. I'm serious. Hey, listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. All right, we'll be right back. Holy smokes. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. I want to remind you, a week from tomorrow, that's the 19th of July, Saturday, July 19th, 1 week from tomorrow. I want to highlight that. Come meet me at Attorney Barry Siegel's Medicaid workshop. It will be at his office in Boca. You're all invited. Now, it's a completely free event, but they do ask that you call and let them know you're coming, okay? They'll give you detailed directions when you call. I've never been to his main office before, This is my first time there, so I got to call and get directions myself. But they also need to know how many people are coming so they know how much space and how many chairs they need. So I'm going to give you the number in a moment. Now, this is specifically a Medicaid workshop. I'll be there early so we can hang out and talk a little bit. You'll get a lot of good information. You'll get to meet Attorney Barry Siegel and his team. Okay, so here's the number, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once. Twice. All right. You missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, the mask lady, Louise from East Boca.
Uh-huh. What's up?
Brian, you're not going to believe this one, because I didn't believe this. The mayor of the city of Boca Raton, he has got a marquee in New York City at $70,000, I don't know if it's a month, welcoming businesses and people to come to Boca Raton.
Sounds pretty smart.
Pretty smart. Who the hell wants them?
You know, the mayor, this is when I tell people what I'm going to tell you, you may know this, but when I tell people what I'm about to say, it's amazing how shocked people are. You may know this, Mask Lady. The mayor of Boca is a Republican. I don't know how the heck that happened, but we got a Republican mayor in Boca, which who would have ever thought that was possible? And he's he's doing something very smart, and that is bringing corporations here. We have a lot of big corporations in Boca, and there's a lot of wealthy people in Boca, and what he's advertising is to bring businesses, create jobs, and increase the tax base. Pretty smart. He's a Republican. He thinks like a businessman.
Yeah, but the thing is, people, and who wants them? They'll turn the state blue.
No.
You know what I mean? East Boca is pretty Republican.
Surprisingly, it is. But people are shocked that the mayor of Boca Raton is a Republican. And bringing big companies here is a good thing.
Well, I don't want New Yorkers here. We have enough problems.
Well, I'm not going to argue. Listen, not all companies come from New York.
People. He's encouraging people.
He's encouraging New York-based companies to move their headquarters here, but that doesn't mean that the New Yorkers are going to move to Florida with the company. A lot of Floridians would get those jobs.
I don't mean only corporations. He wants people as well. New Yorkers.
I find it hard to believe. Listen, one of the biggest problems we have in Florida so far as these blue counties are New Yorkers, right? You know, New Yorkers. If it wasn't for New Yorkers, Palm Beach and Broward would not be Democrat. At least one of them would be Republican. So I agree with you. All right, Mask Lady, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Great show. Great show. Brian, this is Richie. I listened to. Was that Renee that called you from Harlem, or was that?
You know what? Those two guys sound a lot. I think that was Jay from Jersey.
Okay, I want to address that. I just saw a video last night. I just was watching because I'm originally from the Bronx. There's a Roberto Clemente Park in the South Bronx that was put up 8 years ago with benches and everything else. A guy showed a video of what it looks like today. 95% were blacks that were on drugs, that were hunched over and everything. And Renee is worried about mosquito bites in the Everglades and a detention center that they're sending people back to where they belong. As for Joe Rogan, bring him up. When they came into this country, Joe, did they ask him, are you a construction worker?
Exactly.
Are you a doctor or a lawyer? They didn't ask him
exactly.
a darn thing. They just let him in and they put him on planes and put him in five-star hotels. So bottom line is he's out of touch, okay? Big Joe Rogan out of touch.
Well,
and
big, I wouldn't say big. I wouldn't use big with Rogan.
No, assimilation, okay? You brought, and colonization, the guy to try to lecture you about colonization. Lately, I know when you go and you have your genes checked or your ancestors and you're checking your genes, is there a thing in your gene pool that's called colonization? You want to know what colonization is? Look at California. Look what they have done.
Well, that's what I was explaining
California.
to the guy, that, you know, when I was watching, what got me to talk about this at the top is I was watching that battle at the pot farm against the U.S. soldiers and the Mexican army out there. I mean, it's basically what it was. And there's and I watched the local news stories on it. The local news stories, it was like the English version of the news from Mexico City. They're so ingrained. Southern California has been colonized by Mexico, and it's pretty brutal. It's bad. We've lost it.
I'm not against. Listen to me. If you take a look at the Mexican Constitution and their immigration laws, I encourage people to look it up. It's so bad. You can't go to Mexico. You'd be in such trouble. You'd be in prison. I mean, and that's not a tent in the Everglades that they're sending them back to their country. These people are so ignorant. I mean, this guy that called you up to Jay or whatever his name is, Jay, not for nothing. And I brought this up yesterday. You said wait till Friday. 4th of July. There was a barbecue in Philadelphia. 3 people dead, 14 shot, and it was in the broad daylight in the middle of the street. To me, that's more important to try to figure out what's going on within our country. I don't need somebody coming from a foreign country and then trying to change America. In other words, I don't care about Mexicans coming to the United States. They're welcome like everybody else. But when you bring the Mexican politics in the government and you try to change our government, or when you come from the Middle East and you're a Muslim and you're a radical and you want to bring Sharia law into our country and totally diss our own Constitution and our own laws, that's not acceptable, man. And I don't understand these do-gooders that are so worried about people that are here illegally. And I don't care if ICE grabs them. I don't care if they're picking cotton. I don't care if they're picking weeds. I don't care if they're smoking marijuana. If they're caught and they're here illegally, they got to go home, man.
You know,
and
when I was watching the local news, I was going to play some of this, but I'm not going to. I don't have time to play it. I was watching a local NBC news story on that battle at the pot farm in California, and it did look like Kent State because they were attacking the National Guardsmen, just like Kent State.
Terrible.
It was awful. And they, at the end of the story, they interview this mother of one of the illegals. She could hardly speak English, and she was getting texts from her son, who's in hiding with others that are in hiding from ICE out there. And the news are there was a human interest story, like you're supposed to feel sorry for them. And that's you know, and it's really sad. And I don't know how many of you have seen the videos that people are posting on social media. In rush hour traffic in Los Angeles, there's no traffic jams. You can actually drive 60, 70 miles an hour on the LA freeway during rush hour now because the illegals aren't clogging up the roads out there. It's amazing.
Well, you have that holiday, the Mexican holiday, Cinco de Mayo. I don't believe that should be legalized, that the whole state of California is riding around with Mexican flags like we've won Mexico back.
That's exactly what it is.
About.
And I remember on Cinco de Mayo, remember a kid had an American flag and he got beat up on Cinco de Mayo. He had an American flag on his shirt to school. I couldn't believe it. How dare you bring that flag on our day? What? What? Isn't that flag?
We took right. We won Mexico. We won that thing, and Mexico became part of the United States in California. But now they're taking it back.
Well, you know, I'm going to ask you a question. I asked this question of a caller earlier. North America is made up of 3 countries: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Why is the United States and Canada first world beautiful countries, and the other North American country is a third world pit of corruption and hell? Why is that?
Yeah, you and I, it's a culture and it's corruption. And you know, you and I have been to Mexico.
Oh.
You see Mexico. You go to the resorts, and that's not Mexico.
No.
You go 5 miles away from a resort, and you can't believe what you see.
When a friend of mine says you've been to white Mexico, Brian, you haven't been to the real Mexico. He tells me all the time.
I've been I took a bus from Cancun to Cozumel, to the water to hop a ferry to Cozumel. I could not believe what I was watching. And you got to pray to God that the police don't pull you over for anything and then throw you in jail. You'll never get out.
I was
It's
watching.
such
There's a
corruption.
guy
You gotta
who's a YouTuber. He's pretty famous. His name is Casey Neistat. He's a very famous YouTuber, and he's got a brother who has a YouTube channel. And I cannot. I can't remember his name. I want to tell you guys. I want to tell you when I think of his name. I'll tell you guys. He was making a YouTube video. He was taking his wife and kids to Mexico for the weekend. He lives in California. He's driving down the street. He passes a car on the road. He says, "Oh, that's the cartel." He sees them signaling ahead. He gets pulled over by the local police, and they take all his cash. The local police. He got robbed by the police. Wow. Casey Neistat's brother, and he got it all on YouTube. I couldn't believe it.
I want to throw something at you if you haven't seen it. I recommend it to you, and I recommend it to anybody, a decent family. I heard Patrick Bet David yesterday recommend this movie. I watched it, and I was in tears.
What was that?
Thing. It was so The Forge.
The Forge?
It's about The Forge, yeah. It's 2000. It was put out in 2024. Brian, you and Kathy will love it. Your daughter would love it.
What's it about? What's it about?
It's about a young Afro-American kid that's with the video games, playing basketball, not doing, going the wrong way, and he's taken in by an entrepreneur, a black entrepreneur. It's 90% the movie is.
Okay. That sounds like something that Patrick Bet David would. I was kind of thinking. I cannot imagine Patrick Bet David watching a movie, but that sounds like something he'd watch. All right, I'll check it out, Richie. Wonderful. I got to run now. I want to tell you guys about Joe Thomas. I'm going to be on Joe Thomas's radio show sometime later this month. When that happens, I'll tell you guys so you can tune in. Although you should listen to his show every week because he's on True Oldies all the time, and he has a very good show. Right before the first time I met Joe Thomas, they were going to introduce me to him, and I knew I was going to meet him, and so I went to our radio station website and listened to a few episodes of his show on our station. It's very good, very informative. But you want to give him a call, and talk to him about annuities, because annuities are absolutely amazing. And when you meet with Jupiter Joe Thomas, you're going to say, wow, why haven't I been doing this all my life? But, don't worry about the past. Do it now. With annuities, your money is never at risk. There's so many different types of investments, right? Things go up, they go down. This is doing good, this isn't. With annuities, your investment never goes down, and you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. When you call and take advantage of that no-charge consultation that he offers, after which he'll put together a custom proposal based on you, your situation, and your needs, and you can call him for that free consultation no matter where you are in the United States. Ask him about that 10% bonus. How long would it take you to make 10% on your money invested in whatever you invested in? A year? 2 years? 5 years? Maybe never, depending on what the investment is, right? Well, there's an annuity. You get a 10% signing bonus. Ask him about it. You can make 10% on your money before you leave Joe Thomas's office. If you think I'm kidding, Bruce, one of our longtime listeners, he just had this happen to him. He was so excited. He made 10% before he left the office. Pretty good deal. Call Joe Thomas. Here's his number, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And if you missed the number, just go to his website, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you, William. One minute, we'll be back. By the way, I don't know how many of you do not know this, but a couple weeks ago, I reformatted my podcast. I live stream my podcast in the afternoons here on YouTube and take live calls. And then I upload, obviously it's here on YouTube, but then I upload that on all the podcast platforms. So the Brian Craig Show podcast is still on all podcast platforms, but now I take live calls on it. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and click the notification bell, and you'll get a notification when I go live on my podcast, okay? I've been doing, I guess, 2 weeks now? Or is it 3 weeks? 2 weeks? We're back. All right, to the phones we go on Open MAGA Mike Friday. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harvard. White Supremacist Central. You know, your little white power hour is really getting tired,
let me
man.
tell you, Renee. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you this. I'm getting tired of you. And it's not because you challenged me or anything else. I could take a tape of a call from a year ago, and it would be just what you just said. You need to get some new material and be more current. I know, it's just you're boring. You're getting very boring.
You know, I'm up in New York, and you're in Florida, and you want to tell me that you've never heard of gator bait, and you're down in Florida. You never heard of that.
Gator bait?
Gator bait, yeah.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Okay, so where did that term come
Gator
from?
bait, listen, I'm a Florida guy. You know, I'm not originally from Florida. I've lived here since I was 11, and I've been coming to Florida since I was 5 because my grandparents retired here, and I used to come to Florida and spend my summers here. So I'm a Florida guy, okay? Gator bait was a racist term used by Democrats during the Jim Crow era to describe African Americans.
Man, you really...
That's true.
That limited
That's true. And I haven't heard someone say gator bait since I was a little kid. I haven't even heard it referenced.
So why did you tell me that you never heard of it before? That term comes from you people taking our babies and feeding them.
No, I didn't say I never heard that before.
You never heard of it.
No, I never said I never heard that before. Of course I've heard it. All right, appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. Oh, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Jack from Sarasota. How are you, sir?
All right.
I can't believe that you are giving excuses for the United States breaking international law with this prison called Alligator Auschwitz in Florida.
First of all, there's no prison called Alligator Auschwitz.
Brian, that's what we call it, and it's because...
Well, that's not what it's called, and that's not what... One, that's not the name. 2, it's not a prison.
How can you serve maggots as food for people? That's a violation of human rights.
Who's feeding who maggots? And how do you know this?
Oh, my.
How do you know this?
It's been reported with NBC News and other specific news
There's a local
organizations.
news affiliate out of Miami, okay? They've got this call that they say was a 911 call made from somebody inside the facility. Is that what you're referencing?
It's not a 911 call.
Oh, or a phone call. Or a phone call or something. Is that what you're referencing?
Listen, when they're denied showers for 4 days,
Denied showers?
Is a violation
for 4 days? Really? You know, sometimes, every morning during the week when I get up, the first thing I do is take a shower. But sometimes on the weekends, I don't. So what?
A couple days without a shower? How many, first, all these things you're talking about. Alligator Alcatraz is a facility that is run by both the state of Florida and the U.S. government. There's National Guard there. There's Border Patrol and ICE there. It's a government facility. And and I'm sure you've seen my documentary I made showing how remote Alligator Alcatraz is. In fact, it may very well be the most remote place in Florida. Okay, and it very well could be. But you somehow know in Sarasota, you somehow have an inside look, and this government facility that just opened up. I don't know why there would be maggots there. They just opened up. Everything there is new and fresh. But why would Kristi Noem and the Florida National Guard allow people to take videos and photos of maggots that are there? I don't understand how you would know such a thing.
May I respond, Brian? They built the place in 8 days, Brian, and you know this.
So everything's brand new.
Brian, can I answer your question?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd like to have a conversation with you. Okay? They built the place in 8 days. There's already video evidence of it flooding from a thunderstorm. They don't have running water. They're being fed food with maggots.
They're not. First off, slow down. The storm. Don't you hear my commercials from Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing? Every day, listen. Every day in Florida, it's hurricane season, right? Every day there's a thunderstorm. Every day there's a thunderstorm in Florida. Every day. So what? I had to go through one yesterday.
I've got another point for you. How is it?
You're in Sarasota. You know this. You're in Sarasota, Florida. You know there's a thunderstorm every day this time of year.
You're not letting me talk because you know I'm telling the truth.
No, you're saying stupid stuff.
You're lying to your listeners,
What?
Brian.
No, it rained in Florida yesterday. Where can I find the maggots of Alligator Alcatraz? I got my phone out. Where do I look?
Brian.
Tell me what to look. Where to look?
Brian.
No, slow down. I want to look this up. Where can I find the maggots of Alligator Alcatraz?
I'd love to answer you, but I know you're going to probably cut me off. They're not even allowing these people's attorneys to go visit them. That's illegal.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If attorneys can't even get in there, how do you know there's maggots in the food in there?
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
They're not allowing.
Where can I've got my phone in my hand. Where can I go to find a story that they're feeding them maggots at Alligator Alcatraz? Since you said it's true, it's being reported. What news source can I go? I'll look it up right now while we're talking.
NBC Miami.
Okay, I'm going to Google. Is this a sufficient Google? NBC Miami. Okay, maggots.
Can you let me speak?
Alligator Alcatraz. Hold on, I'm Googling. I'm Googling.
I will give you specifics.
A detainee claimed they're feeding them maggots. That's what the story is. Claims.
Let me speak. A Cuban named LeeZep Iquaderdo, I can't pronounce his name, said ICE gave him food with maggots and wouldn't let him shower for 4 days.
Well, how do you know that's true? Because he said it.
News.
Let me read you. I got this. I pulled the story up. Let me read it. This is NBC 6, okay, out of South Florida. Here's the headline, okay? Alligator Alcatraz detainees describe conditions at Everglades facility. I'm gonna post this on Twitter. Florida still has not released I'm reading the story, okay? Florida still has not released the number of people being detained at what they call Alligator Alcatraz. But for the first time, we're hearing from several men who are being held inside the facility. Limzy Lescuerdo, also known as Limzy La Figueroa, a self-described Cuban urban artist, was arrested for a violent incident and has been at the detention center out of the Everglades since Friday. There is no water here to bathe in, he told Telemundo, adding it's been 4 days since he showered. He believes there are 400 people inside the facility. They give you food only once a day, food that even has worms in it, he says. Detention center lights are on 24/7, and the mosquitoes are the size of elephants. He said they're not allowed to go outside. The tents are freezing. Freezing? It's like 100 degrees every day in Florida. His partner, Kataya, says he's a permanent resident who was arrested last week. So, first off, we're supposed to take the word of a violent criminal in a detention center who's gay and his partner's being held there too? If conditions are so bad, how did he get on the phone to tell this to tell him? How did he get on the phone to Telemundo if conditions are so bad? How did he get a phone?
Can I answer you that?
Yeah.
Because there's already been video that's being
Wait
suppressed of all this.
Where there's no video. No, I'm reading your story. He was first taken. I'm reading the story. He was first taken to the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, then to Miramar, and finally to the Everglades facility. He was charged. Listen to this. He was charged. No, I'm reading the story you referenced. I'm not done. He was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery, according to a police report. So he had a deadly weapon and attacked someone? This is the man whose word you're taking? He had a violent dispute. Listen, he had a violent dispute. I'm speaking. Excuse me. I'm talking now. Remember, Kamala Harris once said, I'm speaking. Okay, he had a violent dispute. He had a violent dispute with a tow truck worker who was trying to repossess his jet ski. So he had a deadly weapon and assaulted a repo man. This is whose word you're taking about maggots?
You still can't treat people like that, no matter what.
No, but you're taking the word of a guy who's a deadbeat that doesn't pay his jet ski payments. All right, appreciate the call. The guy attacked a repo man with a deadly weapon. He's being held with his gay partner in Alligator Alcatraz. That is his source for that story. And NBC6, shame on you. I live in Palm Beach, so I don't watch NBC6 anymore, but I grew up on that channel. They used to be credible. Why is NBC6 giving the word of a guy who attacked the repo man with a deadly weapon? That's the source of the whole story? I'll take the good word of President Donald John Trump and Kristi Noem and Mr. Tom Homan, thank you, over this urban artist they describe him as. And by the way, urban artist, pay your damn bills, okay? Life's tough. He's an illegal, and his jet ski's getting repoed. Oh, my goodness. We'll be right back. I'm so glad he told me where to look that story up. Hey there. Aren't you glad he told me where to find that story? Oh, my goodness. All right, and it's time for the final gold and precious metals report of the week. We travel to the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca and check in with William Youngerman each time of the show, each day, Monday through Friday. And William Youngerman, one of the listeners early on this morning, they said, William Youngerman was right about silver, so things must be looking good today, William.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. The metals are doing very good also.
Yeah.
Gold yesterday climbing $10.35, well off of the 3,300 support level at $3,322.70. Silver gaining 63 cents yesterday at $36.94. Platinum was up $9 at $13.54, and palladium gained $35 at $1,143. And the rally continues this morning as gold traded in a range of $3,319 on the low overnight to the high of $33.55 so far this morning. And right now we're at $33.52. That's up $29.30. Silver, big gainer, up 81 cents at $37.75 the ounce. The market on silver has been acting very good. As
what was that? What did you say silver was? You cut out just for a second, William.
$37.75 the ounce.
Holy smokes!
81 cents. Yep, heading for $40 very soon, and on maybe to about $50 this year. So silver acting very well. Platinum up $6 right now at $1,360. Palladium up $40 at $11.83. So markets are doing very well. We have been range bound for quite a while, but silver breaking out is very indicative of the markets getting ready to take off.
That's awesome.
So, looking good.
No, it is looking good. I mean, my goodness, I that's an amazing number. $50 an ounce silver is in sight at this number. I mean, this is exciting times, guys. Listen, William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. And remember, you can if you can't make it into his shop, you can do your transactions over the phone. Give him a call, toll free, no matter where you're located in the world. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. And if you can stop into his shop, you should. It's on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. All right, William Youngman, great week for the metals, and we'll touch base on Monday.
Okay, have a nice weekend.
All right, take care. Now, I want to tell you guys about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. This is an amazing thing. You know, you can have a doorbell camera for free that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. It also makes a great gift for mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, or your adult children living on their own. Get it for them. You know, a lot of kids, they'll be heading back to school soon. Get them a doorbell camera. You can get one for free with the installation of your Sloman's Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, a backup battery, as well as a professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Plus, you'll receive a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call right now, 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, we got the final stretch coming. Our number, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. You know, that last caller, I'm so glad he called. You know, he said they're not letting them shower, they're eating maggots, and I asked him for the source. He said NBC6. I Googled it, that story comes up. And it was the one I referenced to him because I'd heard about this story. We find out that the source for this national story is a guy who's in the country illegally. He's a deadbeat. He doesn't pay his bills, so his jet ski was being repoed. And he was arrested for assault with a weapon against the repo man, the tow truck driver, who was taking the jet ski. That's the source? That's your credible source about the conditions? And if conditions are so bad, how do you get on the phone to Telemundo to tell them this? Not every source, and he said worms, not maggots, by the way. Get your talking point straight, okay? It was worms, not maggots. This is crazy. You know, I mean, liberals, think about what you're saying. Think about what you're saying. Maybe some of you liberals, when you call me, should look at yourself in the mirror while you're talking to me on the phone. And look at yourself while you're saying these insane things. And your source for that. That is not a credible source, to say the least. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. You missed your opportunity, but that's okay. The rest of you on hold, hang in there. Here's the deal, okay? And this is something you're going to have to get used to. Okay, we're going to start seeing, you know, what's been going on in California with, you know, you're watching this. There's no other way to describe it, but as a battle
at this pot farm in California. Those are National Guard soldiers that are being attacked by Mexicans. And I'd mentioned this to Richie earlier. For years, I've talked about this, and people, even some conservatives, laugh at me for this. But the tragedy at Kent State, and certainly it was a tragedy, but the National Guardsmen at Kent State were attacked by the students. And what happened at Kent State all those years ago in the 70s is exactly what happened at that pot farm yesterday. Only difference is these National Guardsmen had like the tear gas rifles, okay? So, but did you see how they were getting attacked? And they were prepared for this. Where did all those gallon jugs of water and milk come to wash the tear? It's like they had the tear gas remedy of milk in gallon jugs already prepared. It's almost like somebody tipped them off and drove a milk truck over there. But we're going to see a lot of this because everyone's got a high-definition 4K camera in their pocket on their phone, and things are going to get filmed, okay? But it's going to start to come out today, tomorrow, and the next day on what those warrants were about and who they picked up. I can't wait for that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. The final stretch. We're going out with a bang. All right, you're out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, this is Sarah from Fort Myers.
No, Sarah, before you start, okay, watch your mouth. I mean, this is my final warning to you. You call all the time. You talk trashy. You drop profanity all the time. No profanity. I'm going to have to discontinue your participation.
Who are you talking to?
You've used profanity.
Oh, I don't.
Of course you have.
No, I don't. But anyway,
you have on your calls. Absolutely, you have.
Hey, okay, if you could put up for talking to that ridiculous man for like 10 minutes, you wasted time talking to that guy talking about that. I don't know where the heck he was from. And Renee, I want my 3 minutes. You always cut off.
Well, okay, now hold on a second. You typically get cut off
all the time.
You get cut off because you use profanity.
Lady all the time. You only Richie. Richie's the only one that gets all the time.
Well, Richie's interesting. The mask lady's not interesting, and you're not interesting.
He insults you all the time. He insults you constantly.
So
this was
what?
The only call that was right.
I don't hang up on people for insulting me.
Get rid of the libtards. I'm so tired of Renee and Jay and that guy that sounds nasally from Sarasota.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what you can do. Get your own show, and you can take calls from whoever you want.
Now listen, mosquitoes, it's fake. I want to talk about the mosquitoes.
Okay.
Everybody who lives in Florida has to deal with mosquitoes. Why do we care about these illegal immigrants? I am so tired of it. I'm tired of it.
All right, appreciate the call. I'm bored. She didn't use profanity, but she's boring me. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Jim from New York. How you doing?
Jim. Much more interesting than that last caller. Oh, my goodness. What's on your mind, Jim?
God, there's been some doozies this morning.
Oh,
this whole thing with the dope farm in California. The other thing that people aren't really talking about is there's kids on work. There's kids on that farm.
That's right. Child labor.
Child labor, underage working. I mean, I don't care what people are saying nowadays. It's a drug, and they're working a drug farm, and it's underage labor, and nobody. So, in addition to them attacking our law enforcement officers and breaking the law by being here, I mean, it's child labor. Nobody cares. The Democrats are heartless. They're evil.
Well, you know what it is? The Democrats have a slave workforce. It's a slave. It's modern day slavery. It's slavery for the 21st century. It's just, it's not slavery like in the old Democrat South, but it's slavery, and the slave masters are the same, Democrats.
Exactly. It's borderline slavery and indentured servitude, whatever you want to call it. But
It
you're
is.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And the Democrats doing it all over again.
Democrats, they had that sharecropping scam for 100 years to enslave blacks. Now they're enslaving Mexicans. But that, I gotta tell you, that footage out there is pretty violent, and they were prepared for it. They had, they had the milk standing by for the tear gas. They had the Mexican flags. They had American flags that they were waving upside down. And that woman with the leaf blower, she was trying to blow the tear gas back to the soldiers, and the soldiers jumped her. Did you see that lady?
Yes, yeah, and you're right. They're obviously prepared, right? I mean, they are completely prepared for like a counteroffensive, which is scary.
Well,
and the thing is, there wasn't this liberal, dirtbag media. I mean, the vast majority of Americans see this, and they're on our side. They're on MAGA's side. And especially, these people are doubling down, waving foreign flags on U.S. turf.
What I'm telling you, the point, Jim, I'm trying to make is it's like they had the A-team over there on the pot farm organizing them to fight the man. This was they had you know what I mean? They had, remember the A-team, they'd make a cannon that shot cabbages in one of the first episodes? Remember that?
Yep.
I mean, that was... But when you... But
all we need is the van pull. We need their van pulling up.
With the red stripe, there's two guys. There's two guys in Tamarack that have an A-team van. I see it driving around sometimes. Same paint job, but it's pretty cool. Sometimes I see it in the city of Sunrise and Tamarack. Sometimes, But anyway, they were prepared. The leaf blower for the tear gas. They weren't doing lawn work. There was no reason to have a leaf blower. It was a dirt road, right? So the leaf blower, they had all that milk in the gallon jugs for the tear gas for the eyes. They were prepared. So someone tipped them off. Someone tipped them off that they were coming, and then they went there with an army. I got to run because we're getting to the end of the show, Jim. But I appreciate the call.
Have a great weekend.
All right, I might binge the first season of A-Team over the weekend. You guys like the A-Team? When you need help, if you can find them, just call the A-Team. All right, they'll be there. Okay. They live in the Los Angeles underground, in case you're looking, like the people that are organizing this. Now, I'm very excited that, a week from tomorrow, I've got my appearance on Saturday at Attorney Barry Siegel's office for his Medicaid workshop. This is my first appearance with all my weight I've lost, thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secrets. So come and take pictures with me. I don't want any of those pictures from Inauguration Day with my round face on Instagram anymore, okay? Or Facebook. Oh, my goodness. Come and take new pictures with me. Coastal Weight Loss Secret's amazing. I lost all this weight. I lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks, 30 pounds in a month. And my results are not unusual. They're typical. And you can do the same thing. I didn't do any exercise. I ate foods I would normally eat. And I did not take any prescription medications like Ozempic. Oh, yeah, I was never hungry either. It works. It's amazing. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the True Oldies channel. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, we're out of time for today, guys. Great calls today. I enjoyed most of them. If you missed a part of the show, go back and start from the first hour, because the lunatics in the first hour, woo-wee, a lot of first-time caller, long-time listener loons. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll see you Monday morning at 6 a.m. Have a great weekend. All right, guys, I have got to run, but look for me over the weekend. Okay, click that notification bell. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. If you're new, subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you click that notification bell, guys.